To be with us this morning, and let me see if I can get Charlie will be with us this morning. Okay, and so we want to just get something set up here. Let me see if I can get Charles correctly. Charlie, welcome.
Taweh Johnson.
Come in. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm still getting some. Let me see if I can get. It's already set. Yeah. Okay. So let me see here. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's still, we need some setup here. We need some setup here. I don't know what's going on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great. It's now we set. We set. Okay.
Awesome.
So are you there now?
Yes.
Okay, Charles. Not Charles, but Taweh Johnson. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation of your name. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Okay, so like we earlier told you, the executive director, or you call him the CEO, the founder of Campaigners Against Misinfo and Disinfo in Liberia, is our guest this morning to talk about what he's going to be telling us. But Tara, welcome, and this is your studio.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very, very grateful to be back at Radio Bomi. Thank you for hosting me again. I remember I was here in March.
Yeah.
When we did the launch of the video presentation for hearing and speech impaired citizens.
Oh, yeah.
I am Taweh Johnson. I serve as the Executive Director of Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. This is a registered non-profit working to sustain the peace in Liberia by educating citizens how to verify information. Besides, I also serve as the head of Secretariat of the Liberia Fact-Checking Network. I also serve as the official spokesperson of the network. Now, let me also commend the management of Radio Bomi for this transformation. This is huge. I remember when I was here in March, we were in this studio, and then on the other side, it was a small space, but now we have a very big space, and this is a huge transformation. And this could not have been possible without the diligent management and leadership of this institution.
Okay. Thank you so much. You are here today for what?
Today, I am here to conduct a training. We are here to conduct a training. Campaigners Against Misinformation and Disinformation has organized what we call election misinfo and disinfo prevention and response training for civil society organizations. We did this training for journalists. We call it the election misinfo and disinfo prevention and response training for journalists in September.
Okay.
In Memorial. And we brought together over actually 16 journalists were accepted to form part of the training, but 14 persons attended the training. So 14 journalists from 3 counties, Masurado, Makini, and Riverset,
Okay.
were part of the training. So those journalists were equipped with the relevant skills and knowledge to prevent and respond to election misinformation and disinformation in Liberia.
There are 2 key words I came hearing: dis and misinformations. What can you give us a little bit? But before getting there, let's look at campaigners against dis and misinformation in Liberia. What have been some gains made so far since your foundation?
Awesome. So we have done several initiatives. The first initiative we were able to do, we were able to reach out to 8 schools in rural Masurada County, particularly schools in Fendel, Kirisburg, and Mount Bakke.
Okay.
We reached out to over 600 students at those schools. We were able to teach them how to verify information using 3 steps. After that, we also conducted a digital literacy workshop for 18 students from 6 schools in rural Masurada County, particularly Fendel, Kirisburg, and Mount Bakke. We brought those students from those areas, we brought them media at our own expense.
Okay.
And we were able to teach them how to use online apps to verify information. We taught them how to use CAMDL to verify links, to verify email addresses, and to also verify telephone numbers.
Okay.
This is very important because you will agree with me that a few weeks ago, many Liberians were scammed. What we refer to as smart AI. Smart AI.
Yeah, smart AI.
They were scammed. They could not get their money back. They
Yeah,
believe
yeah, a lot of them. Even
Exactly.
most of them from Bomi here.
Yes, you see. So, because there's a gap in digital literacy in Liberia,
Okay.
you know, the absence of media literacy and digital literacy education is a serious concern.
Mhm.
This is why our organization is advocating for the inclusion of media literacy and digital literacy education in the national curriculum
Okay.
of Liberia. Because most people don't know how to use an online app to verify if the smart AI institution is legitimate or not.
Mhm.
When we got that information as an organization, because we did not know that smart AI was in Liberia, we only got to know when we started hearing the testimonies of victims.
Mhm.
When we began to hear the testimonies of victims, what we did was we took the link, the website of that smart AI, and ran it through an online application called CAMDL. We found out that this smart AI, this website was created less than 6 months ago. How can you have so much confidence in such a website?
6 months ago.
Less than 6 months. The trust level was very low.
Okay.
So, because Liberians do not know how to do that, many of them believe that smart AI is a legitimate organization or institution or a business entity.
Taweh,
They decided to invest their money.
Taweh, one of the things that you just stressed that caught my attention, the trust level of every, even institutions, like smart AI that you're speaking about. A lot of people went into it because in fact they said there were some millionaires that had so much of money they were trying to dish it out for poor people. And so for this reason, anyone who have it, and just purchase your goods. But when you purchasing the goods, you can get the goods. Oh, Bob, I don't just get percentage. Every day you got percentage. But your money that has been deposited, you can't have access to it until you go to certain program, and before that money is being turned over to your Momo, before you can get it out. I mean, how do we now, as people who are just coming into this smart phone issue, get rid of this? Touch the being victimized by such things.
That's why we are filling in the gap as an institution to teach citizens how to verify information using online tools, to conduct media literacy and digital literacy trainings for citizens. That's what we are doing. We are just an institution.
Yeah, the
We
number
cannot
of
do this alone, but when it's included in the national curriculum, many people will be able to have access to such an information.
To what extent that effort is gone?
Well, we have started the process already.
Okay.
This is one of the initiatives to come on the radio and talk about it. But for today, our main reason for being in Bomi is to host what we call the election misinfo and disinfo prevention and response training for civil society organizations.
Two key words.
In Bomi County today.
Two key words you kept stressing. The misinfo. Let's look at it. What is it?
Misinformation is an information that is false, but it is not shared with the intention to cause harm. This information is also a false information, but it is shared with the intention to cause harm. So one, misinformation is a false information, but the intent is not to cause harm.
Okay.
Disinformation is also a false information, the intent is to cause harm. So it's something that you plan to do. It's something that you say, okay, I will say this to be able to achieve this particular objective.
So like April Fool, you term it as misinformation? April Fool. The first day of April, you got this thing going around. People.
April Fool Day.
Yeah, April Fool.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
That is a form of disinformation because you know that the information you are about to pass on to someone is not true, but you want to pass that information on to achieve this objective. So take for instance, if maybe I'm home and I want for a friend or a relative to visit me, and I tell them, oh, my son is seriously ill. Just make up stories, and then that person will get,
Jitter.
yes, that person will become nervous and then come to visit me. That is disinformation.
Okay.
The information is wrong, but you want me to come visit you. That's your objective.
Okay.
Even though, because if you just say, okay, I'm okay, and I will not be, moved to come. But you have to say something that will really ignite my coming.
Okay.
So that is disinformation.
Okay. Good. So what's about the misinformation aspects of it?
So misinformation, so take for instance, maybe someone said something to you, but you understood it, to be something else. I said something to you, take for instance, maybe regarding because we are in elections now.
That's the place I'll come in.
Exactly. Maybe I tell you, okay, campaign ends Monday. And of course it's not, maybe you heard it as maybe Saturday or Sunday, right? That is misinformation because you understood it as something else.
Okay.
So if you pass what you understood to someone else, that's misinformation. It's a false information, but your intent was not to create harm. That's what you heard.
Okay.
This information, when I tell you, okay, campaign ends at a particular day, and then you say, no, okay, since he has said this, I will say something else.
Okay.
That's something you sat down and you plan to do.
Disinformation.
Exactly. So it's intentional. Disinformation is intentional. Misinformation is not intentional.
Okay.
So the reason we are conducting this training in Bomi County is to equip civil society organizations with the relevant skills and knowledge to prevent and respond to election misinformation
Very good.
and disinformation in Liberia. Because to be honest with you, the spread of misinformation and disinformation can cause chaos, can cause violence, and can lead to instability in Liberia.
Okay.
And we do not want for this to happen, particularly during this period. So that's why we are here. So we are going to gather over 10 heads of civil society organizations today, including 20 youth, because the youthful population, they are very essential to this process. So they will gather at the Bomi Civil Society Intellectual Center, right in Toppenburg.
At the opposite of the police station.
Exactly, right there. We'll be there at 6 p.m. today.
Okay.
That's where we gather, and then I will be there to be able to pass on the skills and knowledge to them. We have the PowerPoint presentation done. You are invited. I mean, this is for civil society. So if you are passing by and the information, you have interest in preventing the spread of misinformation and disinformation, if you are welcome. You can come and then and get informed because this is important for Liberia.
What makes this training so crucial for this time?
It is very crucial because I told you that the spread of misinformation and disinformation can lead to violence. So take for instance, on or before election day, someone might come and say, okay, fake endorsements. Maybe an influential person in Bomi County, like the person will say, okay, this person has endorsed candidate B, right? But that's wrong information. The only thing you can do as a citizen is to be able to verify that information. Don't just take that information and just run with it and continue to spread it. You can ask journalists in the county because you may not be well connected to get to those people. The journalists have their numbers, they have their contacts. Or call, pick up the telephone and just call. Hello, have you endorsed this candidate? Is it true? We are hearing information regarding your endorsement. Is it true? Then that person can respond. But for someone to just come and just write on social media, this person has endorsed this candidate, you know what that can do? It can influence on votes.
Okay.
People can, okay, this man, he's my man, and he has already endorsed this candidate, okay, I will vote for this candidate. That can influence votes. Okay. But the information may be wrong. So what you need to do is to verify first before you can even run with that information. Okay. Another disinformation that will erupt or that may erupt will be false election results.
Okay.
When the process ends at 6 p.m., the counting process starts. I mean, when people are done with the voting at 6 p.m., polls closes, and then counting begins. During that period now, people will start coming up with all kinds of results. You know, you remember during the 2020 senatorial elections, when the process was done, people, radio stations started coming up. You know, this candidate is in the lead, and here are the results. Most of them were not accurate results. They were from previous elections. So I'm urging the public, if you start to hear all kinds of results, NEC, the National Elections Commission, is the only official body responsible to give out elections results. I agree there will be preliminary results. Please do not have confidence in those results. Kindly wait for NEC to give the official. NEC is the only official body responsible to pronounce who has won elections in Liberia. So you can listen to preliminary results, but do not believe it. Wait for NEC to come up with their final tabulation.
In other words, Taweh Johnson is telling us this morning, in this our election period, the voting will start tomorrow at 8 o'clock and it will end at 6. The people will start counting the ballot papers. But the only time crier you must believe is the election commission. That they are on an announcement you must hold to your heart. The one will be doing as radio people will calling, talking, don't believe it yet. Because when we say preliminary, it means that we're just saying it, but we're not sure yet. So the one we see that while we can talk it. But there are some, they will try, they mean it. They say, they see the number, they make it big. I want to call disinformation. They mean it. They're looking at the number, you say, I'll just put another number on it.
Because you supporting that.
Yeah, because I supporting Taweh Johnson. So if he get 10, I will post 0.